Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Sugar Mama TV. If you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you do. But more importantly, make sure your notification bell is switched on so you know the moment I publish a video, because I'm now doing monthly giveaways. Now, I have made hundreds of videos giving you tips, tricks, strategies, ideas, inspiration, advice, guidance around your financial affairs. But this is probably one of the most important videos for you to watch. And I would love it if you shared this video with any of your family and friends, even just sharing it on Facebook, so that people get the benefit of this advice, because it is so important. So out of all the videos that I've made, this one is probably the most important one. And if you can apply this, I promise you, you will never ever regret doing this. So what is it that I'm talking about? Well, it's emergency money. Everyone should have a separate, dedicated savings account for emergency, for a rainy day, in case something suddenly pops out of the blue and we don't want it to rattle our cage or knock us off from achieving our own financial goals that we're passionately working towards. This is incredibly important. You are crazy if you don't have emergency money set aside. Now, there are 3 reasons why I recommend everyone have emergency money. Number 1, I promise you, you will sleep so much better at night knowing you've got some separate savings set aside for something that might just happen and pop out of the blue and upset you. The second reason is, I don't want you ever to be getting into debt because something popped out of the blue, like an accident. I never want you to have to fix a problem using your credit card because you'll be getting into debt, or even worse, deeper into debt. And the third reason, which I think is also really important, and that is, I want you to achieve your financial goals. So if you're saving up for a holiday, saving up for your first home, or saving up to build an investment portfolio, and something happens, an emergency, and you have to then tap into those savings or completely wipe them out, I don't want you to experience that. I want you to have that separate money set aside so that you can continue on with those goals that are important to you. I definitely don't want you to have to start again from scratch, because that would be so disheartening. We get an inkling that something might happen, and once it happens, we need to deal with it to the best of our ability. We need to stand strong and be resilient, get on with the job, focus on the solution rather than the problem, and go back to our goals and dreams and working on those to the best of our ability. Now, all sorts of things happen, and you just need to look around the people around you and see what they've experienced. People lose their jobs. We get sudden medical or even dental bills that happen. We have family emergencies. The other day, my house got really badly damaged in the hailstorm, and so did my car. And whilst, yes, I did have full comprehensive insurance on everything, I still had to pay the excess on the house and the car, and that was over a couple of $1,000s. But it didn't matter because I have a separate savings account for emergencies. So it didn't impact my $1,000 project. It didn't impact my ability to pay off my mortgage, which was one of my biggest financial goals. And it certainly didn't impact my ability to save for a family holiday. I was able to deal with the problem quickly and get back on track. And I didn't let it drain me emotionally or create any financial stress in my life. This is the beauty and blessing of having separate emergency money. So now that you're on board with how important having emergency money is, you're probably wondering, okay, great, how do I do this? Well, if you can do this, I promise you the moment you do it, you'll start feeling very mature and responsible and feel really good. Now, what I want you to do is to open a separate, dedicated, internet-based savings account that is linked to your everyday account. Ideally, you don't want an ATM card attached to this, but be internet-based so you can get some bonus interest. And then I want you to nickname this account Emergency Life Money. Emergency because things happen out of the blue, and life because life happens. Now, the reason why that nickname is so incredibly important is to remind you of what it's for and to remove temptation. That would be really naughty if you build up this emergency savings account and it doesn't have a nickname, and you look at it one day and go, oh wow, look at all that money I've got saved up. I might go and buy myself something nice, or I might go and use that to pay for a holiday, or I might just dip into it. No. That money is purely for emergencies, and by having that nickname, it will remind you, you cannot touch that money. It's only for when you actually experience an emergency. Now, what you do is to put some money in that account. I don't mind if you can only afford to put a couple of dollars. That is the point. You put money into it and you focus your energy in building that up as quickly as possible. Every time you get paid, as a priority, you put some money into that account, and you continue to do this on a religious basis every time you get paid. Even if it's $1, $10, $100, $1,000, keep building it up. And if you ever need to withdraw some money for that, for an emergency only, make sure you immediately top it up as soon as possible. You want to make sure that you always have a certain amount of money in that emergency life savings account to cover you, to help you sleep well at night and get your beauty sleep. So now you're probably wondering, how much money do I need in this emergency savings account? Well, the general rule of thumb is you have 3 months worth of income or living expenses in that account at all times. But as you guys know, I'm slightly different when it comes to financial advice because I like to give real financial advice. And I don't think that general rule of thumb is actually appropriate for everyone. Yes, it is a good guide, and I completely agree with that. But for some people, that actually may not be enough. You might have a young family with some elderly parents, or some people that are close to you that have some health conditions. You might have a job that's highly likely to be made redundant. And in that case, you may actually need more than 3 months worth of living expenses or income kept in emergency money. However, for some people who are fairly independent, or got lots of annual leave accumulated, they may actually need a lot less. And having 3 months worth of living expenses or income and cash savings may actually not be very efficient for them financially. They may be better off having a smaller amount, but then also putting more money into savings, or paying off more debt, or doing other things that are important to them with their money. So you really need to look at your unique situation and ask yourself, what sort of emergency could happen to me in my life that would knock me off my path financially? So say, for example, you have some family members that live overseas. You might think, okay, well, if an emergency happened, I'd probably need to jump on a last-minute flight and go and see them. So therefore, you look at how much would a flight cost me last minute? How much money would I need for accommodation and spending money? That's a great starting point for you to think of how much money you realistically need for your financial situation. And once you've worked out that money, make sure you immediately start building up that savings account until you reach that goal. And remember, every time you dip into that money, make sure you top it up as quickly as possible. And as your financial situation naturally evolves through the life cycles, make sure you always reassess, have I got enough money in my emergency account? For people who have a mortgage, there's actually one little tip or trick that I want to share with you. Now, as you guys know, I'm a massive advocate for paying off your home loan as quickly as possible. By doing this, even just the smallest amount of extra payments saves you potentially up to hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest, and also so much time back. Just increasing your mortgage repayments can cut 5, 10, sometimes even 15 years off your home loan. And remember, the moment that home loan is paid off, those weekly, fortnightly or monthly repayments get to stay with you, and you get to do more fun things with that money. You can use it to invest. You can use it to prepare for an earlier, more luxurious retirement. Or you might just simply want to go on more holidays. It's completely your choice. But trying to pay off your home loan as quickly as possible is a great strategy. And remember, interest is dead money because it's not tax deductible and doesn't necessarily give you any passive income streams or that much capital growth depending on the property market at the time. All right, so if you have a home loan, my slight twist or tweak to this idea is make sure your life or emergency money is not actually in a separate dedicated savings account, but you put that money towards your home loan. But very, very, very importantly, making sure your redraw facility is switched on. Now, the reason why I personally recommend doing this, and I do this myself personally, is in the meantime, whilst that emergency money is building up, it is actually offsetting the interest in my home loan, which means I'm actually saving more interest and more time in paying off my home. And if anything happens, my redraw facility is switched on so I can quickly and easily access it, just as quickly as I would if it was in a separate savings account. But the benefit is it can save me thousands of dollars in interest every single year and help pay off my home loan in the meantime whilst there is no emergency. Now, another variation to this is actually using an offset facility. So if you do want that separate dedicated savings account, make sure that savings account is offsetting the interest against your home loan. Now, what I recommend you do is call your bank and ask them to open up an offset account for your emergency money, or simply go in and talk to them at your branch, but explain it to them that you're trying to pay off your home loan as quickly as possible. And as I said, I personally prefer using my redraw facility to access my emergency money because my train of thought, my focus and my goal is actually about paying off my home loan. I believe one of the dangers of having an offset account is it makes people feel warm and fuzzy when they see $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 in their offset account, because it gives them a false sense of security thinking they've got lots of cash. No. You've got to focus on paying off your home loan in the meantime. So people tend to take their foot off the gas and not work as hard or just ease up on their budgets and their financial goals. So I actually personally recommend the redraw facility option over an offset account. But I'll talk about that in another video soon. Now, that is it for this video. Please let me know what you think. As I said, please share this video with anyone you like or share simply on your Facebook page. And I have an incredibly exciting video happening next week where I have interviewed the most amazing girl who has overcome the most incredible financial and emotional challenges at a very, very young age and come out and thrived. And you really need to listen to her money mindset and her attitude. And you'll be blown away and so incredibly inspired by this girl. So please make sure you've switched on that notification button and you make sure you watch the upcoming Money Monday because it's going to blow your mind and be really inspired. Alright everyone, thank you for watching. Don't forget you can follow me on Instagram at SugarMamaTV and my personal account, Canna Sass. Alright everyone, have a great week and I will see you on Lifestyle Love in a couple of days. Ciao.